Okay, so hello. In this video, we're going to talk about the definite integral. Since we already know how to evaluate the indefinite integral of different functions, applying the different techniques of integration, it's right for us to talk about the definite integral. So when we say definite integral, there is a definite value or exact value for the given integral. Okay? So for this lesson, you shall be able to illustrate definite integral and evaluate definite integral using the different techniques of integration. Okay, so let's get started. So let us first define what is definite integral. Okay. So the definite integral, read as the definite integral of f of x dx evaluated from a to b, or the definite integral of f of x dx from a to b is the integral to be evaluated from a lower limit a to the upper limit b. So a and b are called the limits of integration. Then we have the fundamental theorem of calculus, which says that if f of x is the antiderivative of f of x, then the definite integral of f of x dx from a to b is just f of b minus f of a. We usually represent the definite integral this way. So, this capital letter f of x is the antiderivative, and we are going to evaluate that from a to b. Okay? And we have different properties of integral. The first one is the integral of f of x dx from a to b is the same as the negative of the integral of f of x dx from b to a. What do you notice here? We just interchange the position of the limit of integration. In the left side, the limit of integration starts from a to b. But for the right side, it starts from b to a. This is the same value as long as you just get the opposite of this one. So you make it negative. The second property is just the definite integral of f of x dx from a to a is equal to 0. What does this mean? So the limit, the definite integral is 0 when the limit of integrations are equal, meaning the lower and upper limits are the same. Then we have the definite integral of c times f of x dx from a to b is just equal to the definite integral of f of x dx from a to b multiplied by the constant. Okay? Then for this one, it is just the sum. So the definite integral is just the sum or difference of the individual definite integrals. You can separate them, yung ibig sabihin. Or you can break up definite integrals across sum or difference. Then for this one, the definite integral of f of x dx from a to b is just equal to the sum, the definite integral from f of x dx from a to c plus the definite integral from c to b. What do you notice here is that the value c. So in the first one, we have the upper limit as c, and the other one, so right, for this one, the lower limit is z. Okay? So these are equal to this one. Then for this, the definite integral of f of x dx from a to b is just equal to the definite integral of f of t dt from a to b. In this one, the point of this property is to notice that as long as the function and limits are the same, the variable of integration won't affect the answer. Okay, if we change the variable of integration, as you can see from x to t, the result is still the same. Okay? To illustrate to this one, let's say we have integral of x squared dx from 1 to 2. This means that this integral is the same as the integral of x squared dx from 2 to 1, but you have to multiply it by negative. So that's the first property. And then for this one, we have, let's say, from 2 to 2, x plus 5 dx. So the value of this is 0. So same with the others. Okay? So we continue. Let's say we have the first example. What is the definite integral of x squared dx from 1 to 2? So as you can see here, we first integrate x squared. And using the power rule, the integral of x squared is just x cubed over 3, right? Then we have to evaluate this from 1 to 2. What we are going to do is for the upper limit, you substitute that for x, so that becomes 2 cubed divided by 3, then subtract it by the value of the integral evaluated at x equals 1. So 1 cubed over 3. So 2 cubed is 8 over 3 minus 1 cubed is 1 over 3. So 8 minus 1 is 7 over 3. So this is the value of the given definite integral. Okay? So that's it. So how about for this one? We have the integral of 4x squared minus 2x plus 5 evaluated from 0 to 3. How are we going to do that? So what is the integral of 4x squared? That is simply 4x raised to 2 plus 1. So 4x cubed divided by 3. For 2x, that is 2x squared over 2. So cancel the 2. So we have x squared. For 5 dx, that is simply 5x. So we have to evaluate this from 0 to 3. So we replace x by 3, then subtract it by the value when you replace that, the x by 0. So we have 4 thirds times 3 cubed minus 3 squared plus 5 times 3 minus 4 thirds times 0 cubed minus 0 squared plus 5 times 0. So this will be cancelled, cancelled, cancelled. So 0. So we have to simply compute for this one to get the value of the given integral. So 3 cubed is 27 divided by 3 is 9 times 4, 36. So 3 squared is 9. Then 5 times 3 is 15. So 36 minus 9 plus 15 equals 42. So the answer is 42. How about for this one? So the integral of x times x squared plus 1 to the fifth from negative 1 to 1. So first we just integrate x times x squared plus 1 to the fifth dx. So recall that we can use substitution by substitution. So we said simply let u equals x squared plus 1. So du equals 2x dx. So giving us du over 2 equals x dx. So simply substitute. That becomes u to the fifth times x dx is du over 2. And that becomes 1/2 integral of u to the fifth du. And that is 1/2 times u5 plus 1, so 6 over 6 plus c. And that is u to the 6 divided by 12 or 112. What is our u? That is x squared plus 1 then raised to 6. And we have to evaluate this from negative 1 to 1. Okay? So let's start with 1. Okay, so that becomes 112 times 1 squared plus 1 to the 6 minus 112 times negative 1 squared plus 1 to the 6. And that's 1 plus 1, 2, 2 to the 6 is simply 64 times 112, so 64 over 12. Then this negative 1 squared is 1 plus 1, 2 to the 6 is simply 64 over 12. So that becomes 0. So therefore, the value of the given integral is 0. Okay? So let's have the next one. How about this one? The integral of 2 sine x, 3 cosine x plus 1 from 0 to 2. So we can simply integrate this one. So the value of that is just, what's the integral of sine x? That is negative cosine. So that becomes negative 2 cosine x. For cosine x, that is sine, so 3 sine x. Then for dx, that is x. And we have to evaluate this from 0 to pi. That is negative 2 cosine pi plus 3 sine pi plus pi minus negative 2 cosine 0 plus 3 sine 0 plus 0. So you can use your calculator, but we know that cosine pi is just negative 1. So negative 2 times negative 1. Then sine pi is 0, right? 3 times 0 plus pi minus cosine 0 is 1. So negative 2 times 1. Then sine 0 is 0. So plus 0 plus 0. What's the answer? So 2 plus pi is 0. So pi, negative 2 times 1, negative 2 times negative plus 2. Therefore, the answer is pi 2 plus 2, 4. So the answer is pi plus 4. Okay? So let's have the last one. How about the integral of cosine squared x dx from 0 to pi over 2? So we know that we cannot simply integrate cosine squared x because we do not have a formula for that. But using identity, we know that cosine squared x is just the same as 1 plus cosine 2x over 2. So we can use this one. So we just first integrate. That's 1 plus cosine 2x over 2 dx. And that is equal to the integral of dx over 2 plus the integral of cosine 2x over 2 dx. So we have 1 half the integral of dx plus 1 half integral of cosine 2x dx. And that is 1 half x. Then cosine 2x, that is 1 half sine 2x, right? And 1 half times 1 half is simply 1/4. And we have to evaluate this from 0 to pi over 2. Okay? So the result of that would be 1 half times pi over 2 plus 1/4 sine 2 times pi over 2. Then minus 1 half times 0 plus 1/4 sine 2 times 0. So that's what 1 times pi, 2 times 2, 4 plus 1/4. So 2 will be cancelled. So we have sine pi minus 1 half times 0 is 0. So 2 times 0 is 2 times 0 is 0. So 1/4 sine 0. Then that becomes pi over 4 plus sine pi is 0. So this will be cancelled. Then sine 0 is also 0. So this will be cancelled. So therefore, we can say now that the value of the given integral is pi over 4. Okay? So that's how to integrate or to compute the definite integral of functions. Okay, let's verify using our calculator. So let's say we have this one. So we simply get this one, integral of first cosine x, and that is quantity squared, evaluated from 0 to pi over 2. So the result is 1/4 pi or pi over 4. So let's try for this one. If we get the correct answers, that's simply the integral of 2 sine x plus 3 cosine x plus 1. Okay? Evaluated from 0 to 5. Make sure that your calculator is in radian mo. So the answer is 7.14. 7.14. But our answer is 5 plus 4. We check kung 7.14 ba yung 5 plus 4. We know that pi is just 3.14 plus 4. So 4. So the answer is the same, right? 7.14. So we got the right answer. So with the use of calculator, we can compute definite integral easily. Okay? I hope it's very clear for you now how to compute for the definite integral.